Have you dreamed of getting into cybersecurity but you don't have any experience? Well, today I'm going to be interviewing 3 cybersecurity professionals that did just that 9 years ago, and they got into cybersecurity without any experience. And once we've spoken to them, make sure you stick around to the end because I'm going to show you how to get your own tailored pathway into cybersecurity. My name's AJ, and on this channel we teach all things cybersecurity for beginners. So let's get into it. So I'm actually on the way up to Cardiff to meet these 3 cybersecurity professionals who are going to teach you the exact strategies that they took. We're going to talk about their salaries, and this is going to help you create your own plan. So I'm actually going to go and meet the 3 cybersecurity professionals now, and you actually might recognize them because they're the other 3 parts of empirical training. We're not actually in our natural habitat. We're actually doing a photo shoot for the company itself. We're doing some quick introductions now. This is Robbie, we're going to be interviewing. He's our cameraman today. And then we've got Josh and Vaughan then on the sofa here, who we're going to be interviewing as well.
Vaughan's just showing me the ethics of AI and why we should be nicer to it.
So then our first interview on the day then is going to be with Josh Davis. Welcome to the set that is not normally where we would sit. But yeah, I just wanted to do a quick interview so that people at home can figure out how we got started and where we got.
I'm very pleased to be here. Thanks for inviting me to your basement, AJ. You've done some nice stuff with it.
So just a few things I want to start with then. How did you get started in cybersecurity?
Well, this is an interesting question because I didn't study cybersecurity at all. I studied law and ancient history at university, and I was fully going down that path to kind of become a lawyer, but maybe a bit disillusioned by it. And I knew a guy, AJ, since we were children, and I kept. You told me you were getting a job in cybersecurity. I was like, that's awesome. That's such a great field. And then when you got one, I was so happy for you, whatever. And you started going, I think you could do this as well. Yeah. And I was like, nah, I can't. But you kept saying that. I think about the 5th time of asking, I was like, okay then, what do I need to do? Because I'm a little bit techie. Designed some websites back in the day and things like that, so I had an affinity for the tech. But it was only when you kind of showed me, here's what you need to go and study, just give me links, I think, YouTube channels and resources. And I went away and I come back and said, give me more. And fast forward then, got my first cybersecurity role. Yeah, so where are you today? What is it you're doing? I'm a security market strategist, having been a SOC analyst for a number of years, doing incident response and threat hunting and bits like that. And then I went to the dark side of sales and marketing for a little time. And now I'm in a product strategy role, which is really cool because it's kind of like I work for a cybersecurity company that has a security platform that has solutions across a full range of security use cases and technologies and services. So I get to know a lot about a really broad spectrum of solutions and help influence the direction of kind of where we take them, because just because you've got a good solution today doesn't mean it's going to be good for the threats or requirements of tomorrow.
I think it's so great that you've gone from the technical role into the kind of product strategist role. I think it's a really good avenue that you've gone down. Do you feel comfortable? Because I know the people at home would want to know the kind of salary ranges that you've had throughout your career. Is that something that you feel comfortable sharing?
I'll tell people direct one-on-one. This feels a bit different, but I'll certainly say what I started on. The lowest of the low, I think. I describe myself as a level 0 analyst with 0 certifications, 0 qualifications, and a hopeful manager. But yeah, I was 19,000 GBP, and it took me a while to kind of start grabbing that up. But as I demonstrated my abilities and went to level 1, level 2, that almost doubled in a 3 years, maybe not quite doubled. And then I went to sales and marketing, and I was on very low for them as well, because again, I was level 0 sales and marketer. But yeah, if you show that you can do it, it's such a evolving, fast-paced environment that you get rewarded for that, right? And years don't count for as much as results or what people think you're capable of, because it's not like law, right? Law, stuffy old lawyers get all the money and you have to kind of do your time to get where you want to get to. Not the case. Cybersecurity moves fast so quickly that it's a real great equalizer for everybody. Yeah, for sure. Well, Josh, I appreciate you taking time to share your story with everyone at home. And we'll get up next for the next interview. And thank you, AJ, because I wouldn't be in cybersecurity if it wasn't for this guy. So you're welcome. When he said, hey, let's mentor some other people, I thought perfect, because I know he can do it, because he did it to me. I'm case 0, case 1. Oh, thank you, Josh. So this is the second cybersecurity professional that we're going to interview today. It's my good friend Vaughan.
Hello.
For joining me here. So just explain to everyone back home then, how did you get started?
Yeah, so I guess my start in cybersecurity was slightly unorthodox, but then more orthodox later. My first introduction to cybersecurity was actually through gaming. The lads know this all too well. Josh likes to call me a bit of a scumbag for it.
Hacking FIFA.
Yeah, my first introduction was just trying to get a one-up on other people in games. So things like FIFA, if anyone has ever played FIFA, there's a thing called pro clubs where you have like your own character that you level up. So I started off just by hacking the ranking of that for me and my mates, just so we could go into games and absolutely obliterate everyone. And then that then progressed over to things like Call of Duty and other shooter type games, just to like, if anyone remembers, elevator glitches, just getting to the top, pretty much flying up in the air and just shooting people from up above. So that was kind of my introduction. I didn't really realize that I was hacking and doing cybersecurity stuff then, performing these exploits. You better believe pretty much any new game that come out, I was typing in insert game name exploits just to see what sort of thing. I didn't even know what an exploit was back then, but I just knew
You
that.
were using them, though.
Yeah, that was just giving me a one-up over the other people I was playing against. I'm a very competitive person, so yeah, so that was just what I was doing. But then, yeah, without even knowing that was the offensive side, I then went in school and to university for more of the defensive side ending up. So originally I did a computer science degree for a week, but then ended up seeing Mr. Robot, the series.
Nice,
If anyone hasn't watched it, it's amazing. And that's actually what piqued my interest to transition over to, like AJ mentioned earlier, for a computer security degree, it was called back then. I know you did a computer security master's. Yeah, it wasn't called cybersecurity back then. That's how old we are. It was called computer security. So then transitioned over to computer security degree, and that's when I did my university.
Oh, fantastic. And then the first job you moved into was the SOC analyst, where you met actually the other two, but we didn't meet that time.
Yeah, so we didn't actually meet at that time. We first met in empirical training, but I knew Josh from the first company we worked at, and then I knew Robbie from the second company we worked at. But yeah, I joined that first company as a log review analyst on a measly wage of 24,000 Great British pounds. Compared to some of the salaries nowadays is definitely on the lower side, but I was absolutely stoked with it at the time.
Yeah, for sure. Just to get into cybersecurity was such a great
for sure.
thing.
But I struggled at first to get in, but only with the help of some university mentors who actually made some connections for me, helped me in my interview stages to get through to that role.
Yeah, for sure. So explain to everyone then, where are you today? What are you up to?
Yeah, so today I'm working as a head of SOC for an AI cybersecurity startup. So we're trying to automate the SOC analyst pretty much. I have a team of SOC analysts that I oversee, doing career plans, day-to-day overseeing of the incidents and the customer support and all that fun stuff. And then I also have a team of SOC engineers that I oversee as well. And it's their job to automate the SOC guys. So yeah, we're trying to stop the amount of impact on the SOC analyst with more customers come in pretty much, so we can scale our automation compared to just adding heads for the sake of it.
Yeah, well, it's where the cybersecurity industry is going, isn't it? I think
absolutely.
automation and AI
the world really
is going that way, isn't it? So the final question then, I asked asked Josh and I'll ask Robbie as well. Do you mind sharing the salary bandwidth that you've gone from and to?
Yeah, for sure. So I
inspire at home.
Yeah, for sure. I mentioned I was on 24 at the start. Bumped up to 30 in the same company with an internal promotion and transferred to another team. And then when I hopped to my second company, which is where I met Robbie, I had a boost up to about 45, 50, I think. And then transitioning over to my current company, I went from a senior SOC analyst to SOC leader into head of SOC, and now I'm sitting at around 70 to 80, 70 to 100, sorry, that banding range.
Yeah, which is a fantastic salary in Wales, especially.
Absolutely,
as well, isn't it?
yeah,
So,
I live very comfortably. I'm very thankful.
Yeah, well, Vaughan, I appreciate you taking the time to share your story. But yeah, thank you for that.
Thank you, mate.
We'll speak soon.
Yes. Sweet.
Good. So the third cybersecurity professional that we're speaking to today is actually Robbie Steele, another good friend of mine. Welcome to the sofa. So could you just give us a background of how you got into cybersecurity and how you got started?
Yeah, so we're rewinding the clock all the way back to 2015. I was a little bit lost in that year. I had no idea what I wanted to do. I just sold a business and I was directionless.
Yeah.
And I had a meal with a family member who was in cybersecurity. And he said, "You'd be good in cyber." I went, "What's cybersecurity?" And he said, "Don't worry about it." He said, "If you put the work in and you work hard for the rest of the year," we had this conversation in around about February time. He said, "I'll lay out a training plan for you. You follow it to the T. I'll check in with you at points in your training just to make sure that you're on the right path. And if you do that," he said, "that he'll secure me an interview." Nice. So I'm a bit stubborn and and I'm very dedicated when I want to be. So yeah, worked my job, studied in the night, checked in with him, phone calls, we met up in person. I remember bringing a notepad of everything that I've learned, and I was, making my meticulous notes. And he was like, this is great. And then he kept his word then. Come the end of the year, got the interview. There was one interview that I went for, and it was actually for an IT support role.
Oh,
and I
okay.
didn't even know.
Yeah.
I didn't know the difference.
Yeah.
And I failed that one. And then about 2 months later, I eventually got the cybersecurity job, and they saw something in me. I did sport in uni, but one of my modules was performance analysis.
Okay.
So
nice.
you know those guys that sit with the computers and they're
Yeah.
coding the game and then
Okay.
they're
Yeah.
analysing it after. So I talked about that, and I think that was the one thing that won the interview over that was interviewing me. So yeah, started off as a SOC analyst, stayed in the technical role for quite some time. I'd say like maybe 3-4 years, but I just always had a preference for like the operational side of things. I was the one holding my hand up, and you know I started in the job and you were in my team.
Yeah, that's where we first met. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's where we first met, in the first cybersecurity job. And not a lot of people wanted to do the customer facing jobs.
Yeah, we noticed that, didn't we? Yeah.
Yeah. So I naturally progressed into that type of almost like a leadership role from the very beginning. And then, yeah, because I've never been the most technical person. And a lot of people think, oh, you have to be super technical.
Yeah.
You have to be able to code and be, you know, this wizard in Python. But if you're in blue team, you know, some of those skills are redundant. You don't necessarily need them. So yeah, that was one thing that I just thought, right, I need to lean into the things that I'm good at.
Yeah.
So I'll just do that. So started off, moved into a senior role, moved companies at that point, and then I was I had my eye on the management role as soon as I got there, and I was like, you got to play the waiting game.
Yeah.
Sometimes it is, you need someone else to move on, a space to become available. Naturally, companies like to internally promote because
true,
people are in tune with all of the processes, and they know them, they know what kind of person they are. So I thought, right, this is my chance. And then I got moved into we'll call it a technical team lead role.
Yeah.
Some team leaders are just operational.
Yeah.
So they don't really know the ins and outs of how the service is actually run. They're more of like I'll tick off your holiday sort of person.
Okay.
And we've had those, we've had those managers in the past. So technical is, your player manager. I think that comes up a lot
makes sense,
in the industry. So I would say I'm a
player manager.
I'm a player manager.
Well, it's great to see how your sports career has moved into cybersecurity, because over the last 9 years you've come on a long way, haven't you? And it's really been great to see. So where are you currently at the moment? What's your role and what do you do day to day?
Yeah, so I'm head of SOC for a company called Boxy, and manage their SOC team. So they're comprised of analysts and engineers, and we provide external cybersecurity defensive services for companies. So MDR, EDR, there's some others in between, a bit of phishing as a service as well.
Oh, okay, nice, yeah. So would you feel comfortable, like I asked the other two, sharing the salary ranges that you've had throughout your career?
Yeah, so when I first started, I remember I was on £24,500.
You'll notice we worked at the same place.
Yeah, Josh got done.
Yeah.
So bad.
I liked it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I started off on 24K, then hopped over to another company for around about 45K, then moved into a management role for, in between 50, 60, and then now I'm on a 6-figure salary. So
Amazing. Yeah, no, that's the opportunities that you get in cybersecurity. So, yeah, Robbie, I appreciate your time today. Thanks for this.
Thank you.
And everybody at home will appreciate the information that you provided.
School.com/cybersec.
Is it recorded?
Yeah, we're recording.
So the boys said that they wanted to also interview me as well and get my experience. And the one thing, now you're watching this, you know that we're a team. Empirical Trading is the 4 of us.
Come on. We don't work for AJ.
Yeah, when I started the video, I mentioned that I would be interviewing 3 cybersecurity professionals, but they're also my good friends and good colleagues as well. But now they want to interview me.
Yes, and this is the Mr. Beast of cybersecurity right here, baby. So yeah, AJ, let us give us a bit of a background of how you got into cybersecurity.
My journey into cybersecurity. Yeah. So I did a degree I've always liked IT, always liked business. I knew that was something that I wanted to do. So I went to university, did a business and IT degree. And then from there, I don't know, the degree wasn't that good, to be honest. It was like basic business stuff, basic IT. But there was a small networking module, computer networking. And I thought, hang on, this is something I really enjoy. But in that computer networking module was this tiny, it was called computer security back then. It wasn't even cybersecurity back in 2014. And my lecturer, my first mentor then, who pushed me, and I'm glad that he did, pushed me towards, and he showed me Google hacking and Google dorking. I thought it was the coolest thing ever. And then from there, then I used that technique then for a small company that I used to work for in the summer. And it brought back their whole database of customers, and I was like, oh my God, this is fucking sick. This is so cool. So then I used that then, and he pushed me to use that as a dissertation project. It's not something that we were getting taught. It was just a dissertation project that he thought was a good idea. And from there then, I used that, I did a penetration testing report for that small company. And yeah, fast forward on, months passed, and if I read it back now, it would be pretty terrible, to be honest.
I'm assuming you had authorization, AJ, and...
I did, yeah. I went through the proper process. I had it all signed off by, well...
Make sure it's legal.
By my mother, because she was the one that works.
I was throwing
Yeah, so even if it's your mum, you still need sign off.
This school trip, AJ, absolutely.
Yeah.
Databases.
So they signed it off, and I did a kind of basic network scan and kind of made remediation and kind of created a report for it. And then from there, then I knew I wanted to get into cybersecurity, but I didn't have the experience. That's all I had. So that was kind of my first project. And I thought, well, I'm going to need to do a master's in cybersecurity, otherwise I don't know how else I'm going to get in. So I actually applied for University of South Wales. I got in, and I thought, well, this is it now. So I started a job in an IT training centre. I was setting up computers. I was about to start my master's. But I thought, I don't really want to continue in education. Let's just try and apply for cybersecurity analyst jobs with the experience that I got. Failed like countless interviews, applications, but eventually then the company that we all first started in gave me a chance. And it was actually the first day when I turned up to my master's course, and they were like, oh, you might be able to do an internship with that company. And I was like, fuck, I've applied for a job there. And I had a phone call the next day, and yeah, they offered me the job. I kept the student card and the 10% discount for the next year. And that's how I got started. So I started as a SOC analyst, and where we all started, and did that for 6 years, and then moved into what I'm doing today.
Yeah, so you were the first person to move from that business to another one for quite a big jump.
Yeah, so I
into
moved
London as well. Can you talk about the difference between like being in the UK and like say Cardiff to then move to London?
That's a great question. So in Cardiff, we all started on the salary. I think I often got offered 19k when I started. So
What, you can say no to that?
No, I didn't. No,
you could have haggled.
I actually didn't negotiate. When
just like me.
They offered it, and then when it came about, they were like, "Oh, it's actually 22." I think I started on.
Okay.
And then eventually, internally, that ended up jumping up to 27. And then 3 years passed, and I got referred. So that's a great thing in the cybersecurity industry. Make some friends. Don't be a nice person, and eventually somebody might refer you. And I got referred to a bank up in London by a good Greek friend.
Big bank.
A big bank.
Big
yeah.
money.
Big
and
bank.
yeah, it was triple the money, I guess. So it was at triple up to 80k.
I can remember when you
Double,
said how much you were making. I was
triple,
like,
yeah.
it was
And
crazy.
And it was up in London as well, but it was still comfortable, which was really crazy. And then I did that for 3 years, and I moved into what I'm doing now, which is like cybersecurity consultancy, which has gone over to like 6 figures, which is insane, to be honest. It's nuts. I never thought. I remember when our old manager said that we were getting the bump up to 27k, and he was like, "You're going to start crying." I actually felt like that. Now to be where I am today, yeah, it's unbelievable. But
Or crying because it wasn't good enough, or crying...
No, crying because I was like, I can't believe I've been offered 27k.
We were young then.
Yeah.
So now you know how Josh, Robbie, Vaughan and myself got into cybersecurity without any experience, and we all took different pathways. And now if you're looking to define your own pathway into cybersecurity, you can actually jump on a call with either one of us or one of our cybersecurity careers advisors. The link in the description will allow you to fill out a questionnaire, see if you're suitable for one of these calls, and you could end up jumping on a call with one of us. So really look forward to that. And if you want to continue watching now and you want to know what I do day to day as a cybersecurity analyst, you can go and watch this video next here, where you'll see my day-to-day life as a cybersecurity analyst. Thank you for watching. I'll see you over there.